don't really need to discuss too much on the Cowboys side. I mean, y'all are pretty much handicapped. You don't have Dak Prescott. A lot of stuff is going on with the Cowboys that we really don't need to discuss at this moment because it's a lost season for you guys. I want to discuss the Commanders, specifically the offense, because over the past month, the offense has slowly declined. And each week it just keeps getting worse and worse and worse. This is a common theme when it comes to offensive coordinator and his history when he was with the Arizona Cardinals as the head coach. And I'm talking about Cliff Kingsbury. Around November, around December, around January, when it gets cold outside, for whatever reason, Cliff Kingsbury's offenses have declined. And it's happening again with the Commanders. I was watching film, Brian, and I'm going to speak on the Cliff Kingsbury side first. Just the play designs, the concepts. I'm confused. Number one, why is Noah Brown? Why are they designing plays for Noah Brown as if he's the number one option on the team? I'm like, why is Jayden Daniels looking at Noah Brown like he's wide receiver one? Like, why is that his first read almost every time down the field? I'm confused. And another thing I noticed is that whoever it is that's the first read for Jayden Daniels, it seems like every time Jayden Daniels had to stand in the pocket for a long time for the play to progress for the number one option, it seems like he struggles a lot. And that's not due to him necessarily. It's due to the play design. But when, let's say it's a play where they just asking Jayden Daniels to get the ball out really quick and his number one option is a real quick read, it works. I'm just confused with just some of the play designs, the concepts, because there's no misdirection. It seems very easy to predict. The Cowboys seem like they knew almost every play. And that seems like a lot of the reason why the Commanders weren't able to get much going in the offensive end. And the offensive line was also getting cooked that game, partly because of Micah Parsons. He was dominating that game. But man, it was just a colossal disaster by the offense. What did you see from that game, if you've seen any?
Of course, I see. I was watching the whole game. Even though I wanted a team tank, so I wanted to lose, but
Yeah.
the Cowboys can't even lose, right? But whatever. Uh, the thing I find interesting about the Commanders' offense is that they started off slow and they weren't looking like the Commanders' offense. Granted, the defense has stepped up and played pretty well against this offense. I mean, the score was 13-9 with 4 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Somehow ended up 34-26. Bunch of pandemonium just went down them last 5 minutes. But it seems like when they turned it on, the offense looked good.
Mm-hmm.
So where was the offense the previous 3.5 quarters? Is what I'm trying to figure out. Because
Mm-hmm.
why all of a sudden you get all these chunk plays and splash plays and all that stuff when you about to lose, but when you had drive after drive after drive of opportunity, you couldn't capitalize on it. And as far as the Terry McLaurin thing goes, I know I'm a fantasy owner for Terry McLaurin. I was very upset until he caught that 80-yard touchdown towards the end of the game. But my thing with Cliff King, like he's been doing this since he was in Arizona. Like if you looked at D Hop's route tree or whatever on the
Mm-hmm.
chart for next gen stats, it was all on one side of the field. It was the same old goofy routes or whatever stuff that you can easily guard. They're not scheming him open. Like I'm not seeing Terry going into motion. They snapping the ball in motion, and Terry's getting matchups with the linebacker in the middle of the field. Like CD Lamb as Cooper Rush at QB, and he's still getting way more targets than Terry McLaurin. So I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
why isn't he scheming his dude open? Like it doesn't make sense to me. And it's not like they
Yeah.
was able to run the ball efficiently or anything. Austin Eckler got hurt, and then Brian Robinson he messed he had a little ankle injury earlier in the game, but he came back. But I don't know what's going on with Cliff Kingsbury. I mean, I think you know what I think it is. I think teams got tape. They got tape. Not only on Cliff Kingsbury offense, also Jayden Daniels. He hasn't been playing as well as he used to play in these past, I say 4 weeks or so. Ever since that Chicago game, things been looking a little eh. Well, actually, honestly, since that rib injury, things been looking a little eh. But I think teams got tape now. They learned his tendencies. There's been times and times I'm watching Jayden Daniels, and the pocket may kind of break down, but it's not like okay, I got to run for my life. It was once playing specifically. Can't remember the quarter or what time was that, but the left side of the pocket kind of like collapsed, but the right side was pretty solid. If he just stepped out a little bit, he probably could have made a throw down the field, but he just immediately took off. I'm like, you're in the NFL now. You kind of gotta, you could have stayed there for at least another second. But yeah, I just think the command they got to figure something out. They got to find ways to generate targets for Terry McLaurin. He's the number one dude with the current scheme they running. It's super easy to guard him on the routes that he's doing. Like it's and it doesn't even look like he's the first read most of the time.
No, it doesn't.
I'm rarely seeing like Jayden Daniels look to the left side of the field as his first read. It's like he's going right to left most of the time, and it's like, what are we doing here?
They don't move him around either. They just say, hey, just
Yeah.
play on the outside and win your guy. Like, why not put him in motion? Why not put him in the slot? Like, they just have him in the outside. What do you expect him to do most of the time? You can't just expect him to just beat his man every time. Pause. Like, come on now. Like, come on, bro. I will say there was one play, and see, this is why I'm confused at why Cliff doesn't do more of this misdirection and actually be very innovative in his play call. So
He wants to call screens. Wow.
bruh. So it was they scored on this play. I think it was to Zach Ertz, and it looked like my favorite play that I use in college football 25. It's called bunch arches, where it frees up the tight end. It frees up the tight end, whatever, and it was very creative. Like it confused the Dallas defense. You could tell it had I think Noah Brown. I think he did like a slant, whatever, and then freed up um Zach Ertz, and he was able to get free into the end zone. And I thought that was a good play call. I don't understand why there's not more play calls like that are making the defense confused, opening up different receivers. It just seems like they just do the same stuff. Hey, we're just gonna have the quarterback come out and empty, and hey, you guys just win your matchups. Like, can we like make it easier for the quarterback? Can we make it easier for the receivers? Not You can't just expect the receivers to just win their matchup every time. Can we just like have a creative play call? It just seems there's no creativity, there's no misdirection at all.
I
And
mean, you're
what
making
are
the
the Cowboys going to
defensive
do?
coordinator's job easy. I mean, we had so many injuries on that team. We had Josh Butler, who was known for TikTok more than football, playing outside corner. He had a heck of a game too. It's just like you're making your offense easy to scheme against, and you're
Yeah.
not utilizing your weapons properly.
I will say, Jayden Daniels, there were a bunch of throws that he missed,
A lot of those were low,
especially
in my opinion. I don't know what's up with that.
I think the first quarter, I think it may have been Zach Ertz where he missed a throw to Zach Ertz that would have been a big gain that would have got them to the red zone. You could argue that he didn't need to target Zach Ertz. I think maybe Terry was open or another receiver was open that he could have just threw the ball to, and it would have been a lot easier because that pass to Zach Ertz, it was a little difficult, but obviously you're in the NFL, you're a starting quarterback, you got to make that throw.
I
But
believe you're talking about it was a play where Zach Ertz, I think he beat his man up the sideline, I want to say.
yeah, it
And
was.
then I think Diami Brown was like running wide open across the middle of
Hmm.
the field or something. So yeah.
Yeah. And I know he did beat his man, but at the end of the day, it wasn't a wrong read at all, but it was a lot more difficult throw, and he missed his man. And you're a starting quarterback. We expect a lot from you. You got to hit those plays. You got to hit those plays. You got to hit the pass, and he didn't. And there was some other plays where he just wasn't accurate at all with Zach Ertz on a couple of plays, and just had the wrong read. Like I remember there was this one play where he tried throwing it to Noah Brown on a streak, and I'm like, why? Like he's being guard. It's not like he just beat his man one-on-one. Like the corner was like 5 yards off. Like he's not gonna burn the Cowboys corner. Why are you trying to target him thinking he's like Mike Evans or somebody that's gonna win a 50-50 ball? Like you have another guy, I think maybe Zach Ertz was open on a crossing route. Like just throw it to Zach Ertz. Like he's open. What are you doing? And it's just some plays where you look at Jayden Daniels, you're like, man, like what are you doing? Like what was that decision? And like why couldn't you make that pass accurately? And that's what's frustrating about Jayden Daniels right now. It seems like he's resorting back to like week 2 Jayden Daniels, where he's just misreading, like he's not being as accurate as he needs to be. And that comes down to not just Jayden Daniels, but it comes down to Cliff Kingsbury. He has to make the game easier for him, and he's just not. And it's frustrating. And that's why this team, this offense has deteriorated the past month, is because they keep doing the same old and expecting a different result. And it's not going to happen. You got to adjust, and they're not adjusting.
Do you think it's fair to say that rookie of the year is looking a lot more open these days?
I think Bo Nix he's winning right now.
Mm.
He's winning. He's in the league right now. He's been far better than Jayden Daniels the past month. He's been getting better and better each week. Sean Payton, you got to give Sean Payton credit on this. He has, again, this is a process, right? So it's a process as a rookie QB. You don't want to put too much on the shoulders of the rookie QB. You want to ease them into the offense. And then once they start getting familiar, getting comfortable, then you can slowly start allowing them to do more, feeding them more stuff that they can use for the offense. That's what you're supposed to do as a head coach. And Sean Payton, has it been the greatest rookie season for Bo Nix? Obviously not, but he's gotten so much better these past 4, 5, 6 weeks. And right now, in my opinion,
winning games.
I think he's in the lead for rookie of the year. He has 16 touchdowns to only 6 interceptions. They're 6-5. The offense keeps getting better and better from the Broncos.
They're 7-5.
7-5. Oh, wow. Yeah, they are 7-5. Wow, that's even better. That's even better, man. They just been doing great, and a lot of that has to do with Bo Nix. I didn't think Bo Nix would be this good. A lot of people didn't think Bo Nix would be this good. But you got to remember what I said during the pre-draft process. I said this is one of the rare years where a lot of these quarterbacks that are in the draft are going to go to situations that aren't just god awful. You know what I mean? Like it's not the worst situation in the world. Like they can actually thrive in these situations. And it seems like so far I was correct in my assessment, minus Caleb Williams. Now Caleb Williams is playing a lot better because they finally changed the offensive coordinator. But for the most part, I feel like a lot of these rookie QBs, man, they just went to the right situation. Drake May, you can make a legitimate argument that the Patriots are god awful. But what did I say about Drake May? And I know I'm going on. I'm deviating away from the game. But I said about Drake May, I said the reason why the Patriots instead of the Commanders is a better situation for Drake May is because they're going to take their time with Drake May. They're not going to start him initially. They're going to allow him to sit and watch, and then when he comes in, he's going to have more knowledge. He's not going to feel as he's not going to feel like just like everything's on his shoulders and all the other stuff. And when you put a QB out there like week 1, they feel overwhelmed. So far, I don't think Drake May, the way he's playing, it doesn't seem like he's very overwhelmed at the fact that he's playing. And I think part of that is because they sat him for a few weeks. Let him watch, see how a professional in Jacoby Brissett plays the QB position. And then once he got in, he was fine. Is he playing the greatest? No, but he's a rookie. And I've seen flashes. I've seen what I need to see from Drake May. Now, he didn't play the best last week, but a lot of that has to do with just the talent and the situation around him. And I expect Drake May to continue to get better and better and better. And we've seen with all these other QBs, because of the situation, they keep getting better and better. Now, Jayden Daniels, again, to conclude this conversation in this game, Cliff Kingsbury has to do something. He has to make some type of adjustment. I think the biggest adjustment he needs to make is trying to, I don't know, move around Terry McLaurin a little bit more. Try to get Terry McLaurin involved a lot more, because he's your number one receiver. And if they continue to not do that, then you're just making it a lot harder for Jayden Daniels. And that's the problem. It's a good thing they have a bye week. I'll say that. They needed this bye week. Literally, they needed this bye week.
Actually, their bye week isn't until the week 14. They play the Titans this week.
Man. The
Titans ain't no slouch either.
That is terrible. Having a bye week 14, probably the worst. That is too late in the season. NFL is wrong for that. They are so wrong. But
the Ravens got a week 14 bye too.
Yeah, they are so wrong for that. That is it's like why at that point? Why have a bye week at that point? Like the season's almost over. Like I might as well just say, well, guys are already hurt. Everybody's already hurt. The bye week is useless now. Like usually, the best time to have a bye week is the middle of the season.
I say week 8, 9 or something like that.
Between week 8 to week 10 is like the best time to have a bye week, because guys are hurt around that time. They need a week off. My Packers, perfect time, because Jordan Love looked a lot healthier. Guys looked a lot healthier. That's the perfect time to have a bye week. But week 14 is crazy. They hold them. They really hold them on that week. Just let me be.